Hi everybody, so I've come back out to Jedburgh Abbey today. I'm going to tell you a wee ghost story. But before I do, I'll take a walk around and I'll tell a wee bit of the history of this place. So I'm in the visitor centre now. This place has been a place of worship for a long time. This stone fragment is part of a Roman altar fragment that was discovered when the place was being archaeologically dug out maybe 30-40 years ago, and it was discovered that it had been getting used as a path or part of a path. Forward a few centuries, and this altar here, or rather shrine, is reconstructed, but the original bits of the stone date from the time of St. Cuthbert himself, and it's believed, I'll show it again, they would have held the body of somebody with significant importance. Now that there is an Augustinian monk. They were the kind of monks that were here at Jedburgh Abbey. Now, if I jump forward a few centuries further, the 1100s, King David I decided he wanted to have a priory built here. And over the centuries it developed. A few kings have been here, and quite a few times the English army have been here as well. Kings, I'll give you the example of Alexander III, because he's involved in this ghost story I'm going to tell you. Over the centuries, like I've said, this place was hit with English. Used to come up the A68, although it wouldn't have been the A68 back then, but they come up that road, and this was the first town they would see in Scotland, because it's the first town beyond the border. The border's, what, 10 miles away, over the Carter Bar. Every time they came here, they would destroy this place, absolutely destroy it. So it would have to be rebuilt. Now it's thought that there's none of the original building left, and it's all been rebuilt. There may be some of the foundations left. These stone faces at some point, been worn away though, the weather. Yeah, it's thought maybe this might be original here, we don't know. The bottom bits, but there's certainly a lot of rebuilds, and you can tell to a certain degree by the grading of the stone that's not the grading, sorry, the cleanliness of the stone that's here. Now, the story I'm going to tell doesn't just involve Alexander III. It also involves Thomas the Rhymer. Where are we? Oh, I'm not even far enough up, sorry. Here we go. Or to give him his other name, True Thomas. Now I reckon if that's him or no, that his name's carved in the stone. It's awfully funny though. And Thomas True, or True Thomas. And I can't make out a date on the other side. I just can't make out. He's involved in this ghost story as well. I don't know whose tomb this is. Obviously somebody of some importance. This is a reconstructed early 12th century carved stone tomb cover from the top of an important tomb, possibly that of John Bishop of Glasgow, who was buried near the high altar in 1147. You can see obviously this bit's been fully reconstructed. You can also see where it's been put back together. Now, if you're ever lucky enough to visit this place, then you just walk around, look up, and there's initials, there's names, and they're all over the place. They're all over the place. Every time I visit here, there's something new that I spot. And there's 3, 4, 5 WEs up there. And below, just there, what looks to be a WD. The plaque there is either a TD or a TA. And up, right up in the arch there, is the same initial, TD or TA. So this land was given to the Kerr family long time ago. I'm not sure when. 15th, maybe the 14th century, 15th century. And this is the Kerr crypt. And when I say this place was given to the Kerrs, I mean the land all around in Jedburgh. And they still own quite a bit of the land today. Every tomb in here is a Kerr. William Schomburn Robert, 8th Marquis of Lothian, born the 12th of August 1832 and died the 4th of July 1870. next to him is his wife. Constance Harriet Mahonesa Talbot, the Marchioness of Lothian, daughter of Henry John the 18th, Earl of Shrewsbury and Talbot, and of Lady Sarah Elizabeth Beresford, his wife and daughter of Henry II, Marquis of Waterford. So the kids basically as well. That bit in there is a display of the stones, or some of the stones that have come for the Abbey. So some of them there. So in 1285, King Alexander III was to be married to a French lady, a young French woman by the name of Yolande. Now, Yolande was the daughter of the Comte de Dreux, and the ceremony was presided over by an abbot called John Morel. So they had the wedding here, and on the day they said the vows, and the ceremony was over. The couple were married, and afterwards they had a banquet, a massive feast, and during the feast there was a play was played out by those actors and actresses, and it went down well. It went down really well. And afterwards, after the banquet and the play was finished, they come outside, and well, outside there was a bit of merriment. All the actors and actresses dancing around. The king and his new queen sat at the top table and stuff like that going on. And during the dancing, an uninvited guest appeared on the scene and started dancing around joyfully. Now, once the actors and actresses and guests, other guests, started to notice the stranger, it was because he'd started to shimmer and become so they could see through him, a spectral basically. But he would keep going back to solid form as well. So the dancers lost their joy, they become frightened, and they all stopped dancing. Now, it didn't take long for them all to stop dancing, and there was a lot of fear in the people, among the people. And the stranger noticed this. He noticed that they all stopped and had become frightened. So he'd stopped dancing and he became see-through. And before he became invisible, he walked through the crowd towards the king and queen and pointed a finger at them, and then he totally disappeared. Now the folks in nae times taken it as a curse had been laid on the king and queen, and they lived in fear for them from that day on. And nothing happened for a good wee while, but come the following March, the Duke de March of Dunbar, the Marquis, sorry, of March or Dunbar, I wanted to ken what the weather was going to be like for the next couple of days, especially the next day, because he was heading out somewhere. So he sent a servant to ask Thomas the Rhymer, True Thomas, what the weather was going to be like, especially the next day. So the servant went away and he come back and he says to him, he says, Thomas has said that tomorrow before noon there's going to be a storm that Scotland has never seen the likes of, with the strongest of winds, something that we've never experienced before. So the next day, the Marquis is sitting and everything's calm weather-wise, totally calm, and he says to a servant and a couple others, I want you to go on away and bring True Thomas to me. I want to see him because there's been nothing's occurred of this weather at all. So they disappeared. They brought True Thomas back. So the Marquis questioned him, he's like, what happened to the storm? It's never appeared, there's no such thing happened, can? And Thomas says to me, he says, it's no noon yet. And it isn't 12 o'clock. And just after he said that, a servant rushed into the room. Weird, it's been an accident. King was riding on the cliffs of Kinghorn. He was on his way to meet his queen, and he was blown off his horse and fell over the edge of the cliff and killed. The king had ploughed over the edge and into Petticar Bay in Fife. He had been killed outright. That wasn't to be the end of the curse. A fortnight later, Alexander III's granddaughter was heading back to Scotland by boat from Norway to be crowned. and a storm arose within the sea, and it overturned the boat, and Margaret was drowned, and that would leave nobody in Alexander III's lineage to be able to claim the right to the throne. So that would lead to Scotland being in quite a bit of turmoil for quite a lot of years. A lot of wars and battles among folks to claim the right to be king. Now, I've just taken a wee walk around the inside of the Abbey area there now, and the graveyard. Obviously I don't think the graveyard would have looked like that back then, but I know it wouldn't have. But that might not have been the area outside that they were dancing in. It might have been the other side of the Abbey, so I'll take a quick walk around there now. So, remember what I said earlier in the video, this place was added to over the centuries. So, was this bit a garden as it is today? Don't know. This is a herb garden here, and plenty outside space here for guests to be having a wee shindig. Yeah. Also, like I said earlier, where I'm going now, these steps, this lot here wasn't here 40 years ago. Obviously it was here, but it was all hidden. It was under the soil. There was an archaeological dig some point in the last 30 or 40 years, and the dig started after I'd left Jedburgh, but I don't know when, and all this was uncovered. Obviously can't get through there. There we have it, folks. Another quick wee walk around Jedburgh Abbey. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and hopefully I'll catch you on the next one. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.